Divya, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, we'll start now. I can see many names here. Anuj, Prashant, Said Ali, Narendra, Divya, Neha, Rajani, so many. Okay, good. So many of you have joined. Good afternoon, friends. Today's session, it is in continuation of my session which I held on 14th August. That was actually exciting and technological advancement and changes in financial sector with a specific focus on banking and financial institution. I think those of you who could not attend my class last time, I think I have posted this video in YouTube. Of course, it is 2 hours because I have covered almost 15 to 16 technological advancement that's going to disrupt. I use the word disrupt the financial sector. Today again, I don't want to take up those issues. Instead, we'll have a quick browse through of what are the changes in financial sector, excluding banking, like a corporate sector, with a particular reference to financial activities. Later on, I would like to share with you some of the typical top 100 questions that were asked in the interview for your placement, with a particular reference to finance specialization student, and this would also help other students also, because most of them, they are basic concept based. They are not going to ask very difficult questions, and there again I am not going to cover today questions on some areas like fixed income securities, because it needs very thorough analysis and understanding with a lot of algebraic equations. Then similarly derivatives I am not covering today. Similarly investment analysis and investment banking, there are more difficult questions to understand. So let us start with the basic concepts as far as financial management is concerned today. And before that, I will also quickly go through, I will show you some of the presentations. What are the challenges, problems, trends in the financial sector with a particular reference to corporate finance. Okay, excluding banking. Banking I already covered 2 hours. Those of you, I repeat, please, you can have access to my video in YouTube. Okay. Here again, whatever questions I am going to show, most of the things you already attempted in your examination. But what happens, in the interview, let's say now, you already written one page on the CAPM, or garden dividend assumptions, or MM theory, or beta, or standard deviation. All these things you are aware, they're all basic. But what happens, as I have observed, because I have been teaching students for the last 20 years, and I am also mentoring and preparing them to appear for interviews. What happens is, when the question is asked, you will not be able to recollect that the keywords, exact words. Like for example, beta. You know about beta, you know about standard deviation, but then to select appropriate words so that the interview panel feels, yes, here is a student who has comparatively better conceptual clarity. So therefore, I also advise my students, it's better you prepare your own notes. See, after all, you have not prepared notes for examination. As I observed, some of you just start, a day, 2 days in advance to examination, go through some, textbooks or whatever, or notes dictated by your faculty and reproduce most of the time without understanding either the head or the tail of what you have written in the examination. This is my experience because I have been examiner for many universities, including foreign universities. I see that, but then we do empathize with you because that is our system, and we don't penalize you. We take कम से कम 60% तो देना चाहिए. Otherwise, if you're not a first class student, some of the organizations, they see, in fact, they shortlist only first class students. And having scored first class, and now it is your time to prove that you are really first class, really brilliant as far as conceptual clarities are concerned. These are all the basic questions. Okay, that is the introduction what I thought I will give today, or what we are going to cover. It may not be possible to cover all 100 questions. I told for example, I have 100 questions for credit analyst, or equity analyst, or risk manager. So they are specific profile-based questions. So all those things I am not going to cover. Today is purely fundamentals of finance, and for most of them the answer. I will be happy if some of you interact, because I don't know, there is no point in continuously my reading questions and answers also. I may see, having taught almost 10 universities, you ask me any concept, I will be able to answer, but that will not be the case as far as you are concerned. You have to properly structure the sentence, and if you imagine you simply reproduce verbatim the definition like a parrot, that may not really impress the panel. You should put it in your own words. You should paraphrase the answers, and at the same time use some appropriate words, and it should be in a conversational language. Colloquial language doesn't matter as long as you are using some appropriate words which really conveys the core meaning of that concept. Like just now I was mentioning about about beta, about standard deviation, about variance, about value at risk. All those things you have studied, but these are some of the questions which have been asked in the interview, and some of them I have taken from coaching classes, websites, and you may be aware, hundreds of students of mine have been working in many MNCs globally, and I talk to them. So the answers which I give or which I have prepared, not taken from Google. Many times you can get the answer from Google. I'm not telling you they are wrong, but they are not properly worded, or it will be too elaborative. Answer cannot be to the point. In fact, some of the answer when it comes to I'm talking about foreign universities where I taught European universities. We don't accept, if even in your assignment, if you take answers from certain, I don't know, name that, maybe for example, I don't mind, we are very frank, we say reference given through Wikipedia not accepted. Normally what you people do, you take from Investopedia, Wikipedia. I'm not undermining the quality of those things, but then they are not, for certain reasons it is not acceptable. So don't mug up the answers which are given in some such websites. So when I'm not telling only Professor Rao is an expert. There are many people, even at this age, I listen to experts. This is all introduction, because this is very important for you. I want to tell you. See, for example, when this concept of blockchain came, I was trying to understand, I'm also new to blockchain, isn't it? It's a latest concept. So I read a couple of definitions from Google, and I referred to some research report. I could not. Ultimately, I just listened to viewed one video. I think it was from Mahendra and Mahindra. Mahindra's, I think, maybe is one of the top executives in Mahindra, and he explained blockchain in such a simple manner, for which I had spent maybe an hour or so just to understand how the blockchain technology works. So that is why it matters when people with corporate exposure, give you some tips. So learn from them. When I say you may not be able to call them as a guest faculty, view their video. As I told you, even today I view the videos from MIT, Harvard, Cambridge, Stanford. No, they're all experts with adequate corporate exposure. I'm sorry I've taken almost 10 minutes for this introduction, but this is very important. To start with, as I told you in my earlier session, I had focused only on banking, and we will quickly have a browse through. We'll just have a quick glimpse of what are the changes in the corporate sector as far as finance is concerned. I'm not now going to explain that. Maybe I will share that PowerPoint presentations later on. Let us have a quick browse through. What are the challenges, what are the trends, what are the changes in corporate sector with a particular reference to finance. Let me open PowerPoint. In between you can stop and ask me, anything you want, any questions. So here it's about 15 slides I have prepared. Again, when we prepare slide, we take from most reliable source. For example, research reports of PwC, Deloitte, some top investment bankers. We as faculty, we don't take from Google. Many times I have come across the answers given. Somebody has written, we don't know whether it is reliable. That is the advantage of listening to experts. So let me open this. Okay. The way I can see you there. Okay. Can you just confirm whether this slide is visible? Okay. Can you please read quickly what does the talk about? Okay. Okay, fine. We will have a quick browse through. This I think I will minimize, this. Can I minimize this? Otherwise, or let me take it up. Yeah, I will take it up in the corner. Fine. Now I will make it presentation slide so that you will be able to read. Slideshow. Tell me whether, yeah, is that visible now? Okay, see now I have listed this taken from some of the research reports, how COVID-19 has affected mega trends globally with particular reference to business. So many things are mentioned here. You have to remember, but I am not going to discuss all these things because this is not the session to talk about the trends. It's unlike, for example, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, or machine language. No, we are not going to details. At the most, there may be 2 or 3 questions on this. So I am not going to discuss this, but whatever material you want on any one of these things, you can ask me. I will give you the material. It says how COVID-19 has affected mega trends globally. Look at that presentation. Digitization, virtualization of the workforce, or work from home, focus on safety and surveillance, corporate responsibility, emergence of pop-up ecosystems, focus on cost reduction. These are some of the areas which you must remember in case there is any question. What are the latest trends? How this COVID has, because COVID has affected every MNC, every SME, every professional for that matter. So you must go through this in detail. I am not going to discuss that because today's session focus only on questions. Then next, this is again a research report. A questionnaire was sent for each of the following technologies below. How do you expect spending to change in your functional area over the next 1 year? Because now many new technologies has come. So now, for example, data privacy. Now I don't know whether you are able to see that clearly. North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. Now, data privacy. How much they are going to spend? Almost 54%. Then cyber security, that's one of the most disturbing aspect. A lot of cyber frauds, crimes are taking place, and sometimes they have even looted the treasury of the government as a whole. So how we are going to take up this issue? Now, having listened to this, you may say, "Rav sir, cyber security and तो नहीं पढ़ सकता." No, you must be aware what are the issues. You are also part of the team when you join a corporate. What type of precautions you have to take? Just in the morning, I was going through one small incident. Somebody has written their mobile number on the back of the check, and that fellow took account number as well as mobile number, prepared some fake Aadhaar cards and PAN, and you change the mobile number, he went for the SIM card, and he has withdrawn about 75 lakhs in one of the accounts. Just yesterday's news I was reading. So you must also be aware. Supposing you join a bank, what is KYC, what is money laundering, anti-money laundering schemes, what are the precautions you have to take. Now, for example, the case which I mentioned, the chief general manager has been asked to appear in the court, and the mistake was committed by one frontline officer like you. So it is not just merely knowing what are the changes, how you should prepare for that. Okay. Cyber security, cloud computing and storage. Okay. Next, data analytics, digital channels, artificial intelligence, blockchain and distributed ledger technologies, robotic process automation, RPA, robotic process automation. So these are some of the things at least you should be able to understand its concept, so that in the interview, if they ask you what are the latest changes in the next 5 years or last 2 years, what changes you have seen in the corporate or in the or in, for that matter, in banking. Last time when I talked about banking, I had given a lot of examples. How robot, even as far as operation of lockers also, how robot helps you, or making instant payment. Let's say a device called Alex, and on your behalf, all transactions are done by robot. So these are some of the issues you remember. Okay. At least some explanation what do you mean by digital channels or blockchain. You'll not be able to explain blockchain as a whole, but how it's going to. Now we are talking about cyber security. How when it comes to blockchain, it seems the most of the problems of cyber crime will be arrested by blockchain technology. So you should be aware. And sometimes, give me a second. So you may not be able to explain all those things. Just be aware of those concepts. Okay. Then how will you change your client communication engagement strategy based on COVID, particularly focusing on COVID, post experiences in corporates. Almost every corporate, whether it is SME or MSME or MNCs, they are one of the most challenging job for them is cash management. Cash flows are affected. How to manage? There are in one of the research report I have collected 20 points how to manage your cash flow effectively. Okay, so in the interview, many times I tell my students, you must know how to conduct the interview. They tell me, Rao sir, क्या बात कर रहे हैं आप? पागल हो गए क्या? Sir, I am going for interview. You are asking me to conduct interview. I said, yes, you can. You must know how to steer the interview panel to your area of interest. Now, I don't want to pat my back. Very recent examination I give you. Hardly 3 weeks ago, 3 of my students were shortlisted. I don't want to tell the name of the institute. I think I can tell the organization name. It was South Indian Bank. 3 of my students were shortlisted. Just 2 days ago, before the interview, they sat with me for 1 hour. Out of 3, 2 have been selected. Thereby, I'm no way conveying the message I'm expert because of me. No, because of those students, how they prepared for the interview. Just to give one example, see, many students had come from top 5 management institutes there, you know. Now, naturally, when you are going for, I mentioned the name also, South Indian Bank, you will open their website and you will see how many branches, who is the who is the CMD, what are the products. Everybody reads that, but you have to go beyond that. I made my students to open the annual report of the South Indian Bank. I asked them, read the annual report, auditor's report, director's report, then disclosure norms, their dividend policy, their risk management policies, dividend policies. So then, in the interview, I told my students, you mentioned, sir, I was happy to go through your director's report. We are happy to observe, you won so many awards, but these are some of the areas of concern. It may be, let's say, non-performing assets, or it may be, let's say, disclosure norms, or regulatory. Most of the students, they don't read annual report. They simply read website, whatever is given in website, but you have to read annual report, their financials, and some of the best ratios, or some of the ratios which for you appear to be, I don't say weak, where there is a scope for further improvement. For example, in bank CASA ratio, current account to savings bank ratio. So this is how you have to prepare. Okay, when you go for interview, that is why some of this concept which I have mentioned and some of the tips I have given, please try to remember. And in the interview, quite possible you may get an opportunity. Do you have anything to say? Or even if they don't give you that opportunity, sir, I want to mention one thing about your organization, which is really overwhelming. This is what I observed from your audit report. Absolutely clean balance sheet, absolutely no window dressing, no manipulation. Then they feel impressed. Here is a fellow who has gone deeper into the organizational issues. Okay. So how you are going to change? Some of these things you can remember. Develop intelligent chatbots. Now, whether it's a bank or any organization, build digital relationship management system, leveraging virtual meeting with clients. Instead of going and meeting personally, they will also be happy. Provide the customer some manageable platform where they can interact with you. Engage more regularly with clients through online channels. Transform the sale process to be virtual meeting driven in your sales also. Develop customizable client data access and reporting system. Then interact more on social media channels with clients. Okay. Now you would have seen in LinkedIn, so many executives, they talk about their organization, their policies, their future plans, their budgets, openly. Why I have shown this? You may mention, let's say, what are the challenges of corporate world now? If so, what can be done? Nothing wrong. This is not you are copying from somebody. This is what has been well researched, and most of the organizations already implemented also some of these points which I mentioned. So in this entire presentation, I have given what are the challenges and what has to be done as far as corporate is concerned, and as far as students are concerned, what you have to prepare for. Now, for example, go for machine learning certificate course, go for financial risk management diploma course, go for credit analyst, equity analyst. I told you, as of today, most of things are being done humanly, with the human intervention. A day will come, perhaps they no longer need your advice. The computer itself will analyze everything, and it will give you the results also, findings also. It will interpret. It may give some possible steps also, what has to be implemented. Okay, so prepare for this for the next 5 years. Don't simply blindly read what I have shown in my slides. Now, for example, the 10 technology forces that matter. I already covered this in my earlier video. I don't want to again repeat that, but still I will be happy instead of my reading just one sentence. Can somebody read the 10 technology forces that matter, whether for bank or financial sector or for the corporate as a whole? Please read it aloud. It will get recorded. Yes, please. Let's not waste our time. Can you see the screen? Can you read that? What are the 10 technology forces that matter? Please read it slowly and loudly.
The first one is fintech will drive the new business model.
Yeah, go ahead.
Second one is the sharing economy will be embedded in every part of financial system. Third, blockchain will shake things up.
Blockchain will shake things up. Blockchain will shake things up. Yeah. Third one. Okay.
Fourth, digital becomes mainstream.
Yeah.
Fifth, customer intelligence will be the most important predictor of revenue growth and profitability.
Look at there. Customer intelligence will be the most important predictor of revenue growth and profitability. If you want to really increase your revenue and profitability, you must know the intelligence of the customer. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? In the investment topic I was mentioning, behavioral finance. What is behavioral finance? Now, behavioral finance itself is one of the emerging topic, like financial economics, financial engineering. So they analyze your behavior pattern of your spending, and then the robot will be able to advise you where you have to invest, how much you have to invest, all your future planning, budgeting, everything will be done by robot. So you must understand the behavioral pattern of spending as far as money is concerned. Yes, please go ahead. Next.
Advances in robotics and AI will start a wave of reshoring and localization.
Yeah.
The public cloud will become the dominant infrastructure model.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity will be one of the top risks facing financial institutions. Asia will emerge as a key center for technology-driven innovation. Regulators will turn to technology too.
See now, for example, point number 10. Thanks for that. Who read that? Who read that, please?
The Mansi.
Mansi. Okay, Mansi. Thanks for that. See, for example, I am not going to explain all the 10 points. To some extent, I have covered some of them in my earlier video also. Regulators will turn to technology. Now, for example, if you are talking about bank regulator is Reserve Bank of India. Now, all the returns to be submitted, the precautions to be taken as far as disclosure norms are concerned, and other reserves, CRR, SL, everything will be automated. Perhaps a day will come, you will not be able to, you will not submit any returns, everything, regulator himself will take from your website, quite possible. So on each one of these things, please remember these 10 technology forces that matter. Maybe one or two of them you may specialize, you may go for certificate course also. As I told you, business analytics. Okay, you can go for business analytics. What are the priorities? Again, I am not going to cover this. You please read this again. About blockchain. Say there, here look at this report by Accenture. Now that's what I told you. I take all data from reliable, valid source from research report. It says, report by Accenture expect nearly 420 billion transaction to switch from cash to digital payment by 2023. In another 2 years, it is predicted 420 billion transactions will be there, and continue to grow around 48 trillion. Do you know what is a trillion? 12 zeros, a trillion. 48 trillion. Our total economy, we have not reached even now, I think 5 trillion. 48 trillion. So imagine the demand for digital payments. As it is, you are aware, you are also using Paytm and RuPay and whatnot. By 2023, worldwide spending on blockchain, it's not blockchain transaction, spending on blockchain solutions is predicted to grow to around 16 billion. So these are all some statistics. And why I am not showing this to impress upon you. I want you to remember some of the data like this, so that they will feel, where did you get this? Sir, I have taken this from research reports of Deloitte, PwC, JP Morgan. Then they will feel impressed, because now what is your immediate concern? Tell me. Proper, better, good placement, right? Now, how you have to prepare? These are some of the areas where you have to focus, so that interview panel also feel happy. Oh, here is a student who is updated in almost every aspect, and is also justifying his statement with data, just supporting your statement with the data. Okay, it is not. I am not here to impress upon you, but it is your turn to impress the interview panel. Okay, so that's why I have given you some of the latest data here. Now, I also talked about cloud-based capabilities and remote working. Now, you should get used to, even to attend the sessions. Some of you would have logged in, would have gone out. I don't know whether all of you are here, but then I've seen in my own society, I've seen people working for 10 hours. And I've seen some of they're all working for Wipro, Infosys, TCS, some of the engineers in my society. And they say, Rao sir, I don't have time even to eat 2 chapatis. They keep that, and there is no dining table, sitting with family, chit-chatting, relaxing and enjoying dinner. They take, roti khate baat kaam karte. So now we must used to it, because as a student you are not used to it. Okay. Manual task to new automation. All about, See, now why I want to, instead of straight away going to questions, why I am still talking all about introduction. See, you know about ratio analysis, you know about debt equity, you know about EPS, PE ratio. But will any corporate hire you giving 10 lakhs per year just to calculate that ratio? Gone are those days. Please remember. Now everything is done automatically. In the sense, let's say you want to calculate ratio analysis of HUL or Dr. Reddy or Bajaj Motors. The program is done in such a way, it will automatically take all the relevant ratio. It may be from Yahoo Finance, it may be from Financial Times. Straight away, it is imported to your Excel sheet, and analysis, not only analysis done, not only ratios are calculated, not only ratios are interpreted, and it will also suggest which are there. For example, debt equity is something dangerous, or liquidity ratio is less than 1. So what has to be done? It even suggests. Why? It is artificial intelligence. So that is why now, yes, many times I repeat, you must have academic excellence, which should be proved by your progress report, marks card. The moment they see, here is let's say Divya, 75%, distinction, that means she must be brilliant, that means she must be sincere in her studies. That talks about your little bit of attitude also, your style also. It has to be there. But then you are not going to, once you join the organization, till you get that excellence in academics, you please, use calculator, use Excel sheet, whatever. But once you join the organization, you are not going to take paper, pen and work out. No time for that. But you should be able to do critical analysis. Okay. Now, new automation technologies will replace all our manual calculations. Like, for example, I was talking about in the beginning, standard deviation. My God, you write, 4 columns and you say variables x, y, then x squared, then you x, y you calculate, then square root of variance is that, all those things. No, it takes just couple of fraction of seconds even, for that matter, to calculate all those things. You are not going to do all those things, but you should be capable of understanding its implications. You must be capable of analyzing them critically and give some implementable solutions. Okay. All right. Maybe I think maybe another 1 or 2 slides are there, because I thought of see, for example, Goldman Sachs. This is a research report, and my advice to you is read as many research reports as possible, because they are all experts. Just now mentioned JP Morgan, Deloitte, PwC, Goldman Sachs, or let's say Citibank. Even within for example, SDFC Bank's quarterly reports. Our own bank, Bank of Baroda. I am from Bank of Baroda, where I worked for 30 years. So we also come out with research reports. We have our own research wing. So we don't simply, write something without supporting with the data, and after conducting a field surveys, interacting with experts, corporate experts, then only these research reports are published. So now this is from Goldman Sachs. He says, fintechs, these startups would account for upward 4.7 trillion in annual revenue being diverted from traditional financial services companies. So all this business, they will grab fintech. What is that? 4.7 trillion again. So these are some of the data. Wantonly I am showing this so that when you talk, particularly interview, you have some latest data with you. That's really impressive. And again, source. For example, Goldman Sachs. Oh, it's from Goldman Sachs. JP Morgan, reliable. Then this is a customer. These are all some of the issues for corporate as a whole, not necessarily for finance. Customer retention, customer loyalty. Okay, this is another issue. Continuous innovation. Now look at this slide. New skill sets. Now you have to acquire what are those new skill sets that are essential. Not your computational skill, manual computational skill, no. Even you may not use Excel sheet also, because everything is programmed in such a way you should be capable of understanding that software. For example, if you join a bank, you should be capable of understanding Finacle of Infosys. Okay, so these are some of the new skills. So without having all this detailed understanding, simply reading the same textbook and going for interview, and 2 or 3 interviews you appear and become depressed. Selection nahi hua. Ball is in your court, my dear. Now you should know how to prepare and what to read and how to conduct the interview. I repeat. ये बहुत अजीब बात है. मैं बात कर रहा हूँ आप इंटरव्यू कंडक्ट करना नहीं, but how to bring the interview panel to steer them to your area of interest, where you have some expertise, where you have some proficiency. You do not have worked anywhere, but even as a student, you have maybe some of your leadership skills, communication skills. I think I will end this here. Some of the issues facing the CEOs I have listed down. One of them is, as I told you, very, very poor cash flow management, decision making without timely, meaningful financial intelligence, the high and hidden cost cutting measures, manual process which are very costly and have high risk and prone to error. So these are some of the issues facing the CEOs. So now why I mention all this thing, supposing tomorrow when you go for an interview, if they ask you what are the major issues that is bothering the corporate sector or banking sector or insurance sector or capital market, so it should be specific. I will stop here as far as the presentation is concerned. Now I will straight away go into, I have taken almost 40 minutes to give you this background so that now you know how to compete yourself, because as I mentioned another day I was talking about that bank. for that, students from the top 10 universities had come, and they wanted to select only the bright. And now these two students whom I mentored could get placed. They talk something different, something relevant, something really challenging. Okay? Let me stop this. Yeah, any comments? I would like to listen to some of you. You just ask some questions before I change the topic. Yes? I would like to talk to some of you. Prashant, Manisha, Rafiq, Mohammed, Narendra, Neha, Rajini, Divya, Mansi, Manoj, come on. What do you feel? So far you have listened to me for 40 minutes. What do you feel? Are you scared? Don't be scary. Nothing is impossible. Look, even at this age, I'm almost turning 75, I learn every day. I talk to my students. I ask them what's going on in corporate, what is latest. So you talk to your alumni, you talk to some of your friends, find out what is really happening in the corporate. Don't confine yourself to textbooks. I'm not telling you should not read textbooks. Once your till your examination is over, read textbooks. But don't be bookworm. Your bookish knowledge is only for your examination. Don't display your bookish knowledge in the interview. Okay. प्रशांत कुछ बात करो. है क्या बोल रहे? मनीषा. Hello. Manasi. Some reactions, some talk. What do you feel? How you are preparing? Tell me. Okay. Anyone of you appeared for any interview so far? If so, what are the questions asked? If you are not performed well, have you analyzed that? Have you made a SWOT analysis of yourself? Yes. Have I lost then when there are no responses? Hello? Divya, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Then how come nobody is replying? Nobody is saying at least yes or no? जो कुछ हमने अब तक बात किया समझ में आ गया या नहीं? कम से कम इसे yes or no at least?
Yes, sir, समझ में आ रहा है.
Only Divya is speaking. What about all others? अनुज बात करो. Okay, all right. Anyway, now let me not waste my time. Let's go for question answers. That is interview questions. I am not asking to answer. I will show you some of the interview questions. Yes, can somebody read that? Not Divya. I want somebody to participate. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Please read that.
So, bank specific questions.
नहीं heading क्या है? I want to ensure that you are seeing the correct.
Top 100 typical interview questions for MBA finance students.
Okay, top 100 typical interview questions for MBA finance students. So 100 questions from various sources I have taken. As I told you, you have to prepare answers in your own words first. Okay, हिंदी में सोचो कोई problem नहीं. Even when you appear for interview, immediately you may not be able to get that appropriate words. So at least note down the keywords. Now I was talking about CAPM. What are the assumptions of CAPM? You have read it in investment analysis. You have done it in financial analysis. Okay. Then what is the difference between VAR in capital and capital V, small a and R capital? There are two types of VR. What is the difference? You have never thought over. I am not telling, I am not even undermining ये सब आपको मालूम क्यों नहीं. You just, you are only exam oriented. You just rote learning किया, बायर्ट किया, just एग्जाम में कुछ भी लिखा है, पास किया. But now you should understand, for example, what is operational leverage and financial leverage. These are some of the questions they have asked, because they want to check whether these basic concepts are clear to you. I will go through the questions. Okay, another 1 hour at least I will. Answers I may give, that is different. But I want you to prepare answers on your own. As I told you, don't copy from Investopedia or Wikipedia. You take if you want, but then you write down in your own words, because they are not going to ask you 25 questions, hardly 5-6 questions. But that again depends how much you have impressed your interview panel. I am not telling any stories here. I am not here to tell you anything just to impress upon you. Some of my students who have taken highly specialized advanced topic like financial risk management, then derivatives. Some of my students were interviewed for 35 to 40 minutes. By the time that fellow came out, he was half dead. I am sorry to use that word. It's a Persiana Harata, 40 minutes. And he was the first person to be selected. Straight away to manager post. I am not telling you any stories. 40 minutes he was interviewed. That shows he had so much of deep knowledge, and they wanted to hear the student. The interview panel was so happy, they went on asking many questions on financial risk management. And he was taken as risk manager in one of the banks. So go for some such a certificate course and prepare your own answers. Okay. Now you can stop me anywhere. I will simply read the questions. I may ask some of you to read the questions also. Okay. I will check if the questions are very complicated. I may answer also, and I will tell you what are the keywords to be remembered. In next 1 hour, I will be covering questions. Here, as I told you, I am not going to cover bank specific questions, even though it is showing here bank specific. For example, let's say, what are some of the most significant deals our bank has completed in the last 12 months? This is one of the questions. What do you think the bank's biggest regulatory threats? Like, for example, Basel 1, Basel 2, Basel 3, that risk-weighted capital you have to maintain. This is one of the, then disclosure norms. Recently, if you are reading newspaper, Reserve Bank of India, almost every week you will see that bank was, cooperative bank was finalized for 50 lakhs or 1 crore, even big banks like State Bank of India, Canara. Okay. What is the most important thing affecting our bank now? That was the question. So now one is non-performing assets, then reducing profitability, then NII, net interest income, the reducing spread. So what are the at least this you'll not come to know from your book, because nobody will teach all these things, and we can't blame them, because this is in the syllabus. They just give only some basic concepts, and they can't go to practicals there, because you have one dozen topics you have to cover for the exam. So what is RAROC? What is NPA? What is the difference between spread, NIM and NII? Just now I told you. Now I am not going to answer all those things, but prepare for this. And again, don't take, if at all you take answer, at the end I have given the name of 10 textbooks. Let me go right now. Oh, it's not possible now. 41 pages are there, I can't go now only. I have given the name of 10 textbooks which are globally recognized authors, written by recognized authors. Most of them have got corporate exposures also. Like for example, if you talk about, I'm not telling don't read Prasanna Chandra or Kanam Jain. As I told you last time, I have reviewed Prasanna Chandra's fifth edition of investment analysis. As far as Indian conditions are concerned, it's okay. But when you are appearing for some MNCs, you must have that global perspective. Now it is ROS, ROSS ROS, if it is financial management. If it is management accounting, I read Arn Green, HR and Arn Green. If it is investment, I read Rayleigh and Brown, REILL, Rayleigh and Brown. If it is a risk management, I read Saunders, SAUNDS, Saunders. If it is a international financial management, I read Madura. No, they're all there. A lot of practical exercises are there, challenging questions are there, real scenarios are there, and the author has interviewed the corporate executives and their interviews are presented. So select some such good. I know it is little bit difficult to understand in the beginning because the language, but slowly if you get accustomed to that, you will pick up at least those important points. All these Indian authors, okay, for your examination it's fine. Given the list at the end, later on I will share with you what are the best financial books which you have to refer, because you are financial specialized MBA, what are the books you have to refer as far as possible. And tell me if any one of you can't get that book, I will share the books with you, because I am an approved book reviewer for some of the international. I don't want to boast myself, but the point why I mention this, I get books freely, and I get e-books. I can share with you, provided you don't share to any other person. Only for your university, I can share some of the books which are the best books, and I must have at least 100 e-books with me. Okay, so don't worry, if at all you want, some of you are really interested in picking up those books, ask me. And nowadays there is one more, you can check there also, that PDF drive, some of the best books are available there also. Okay, alright. So what is risk weighted asset? I'm not going to discuss banking today. Okay, similarly equity market, credit analyst, equity analyst, I'm not going to discuss. But still, sometimes you look at this question, what is the Dow Jones Industrial Average or FTSE, that is pronounced as FTSE, FTSE, Financial Times Stock Exchange. There is one is LSE, London Stock Exchange, and one is FTSE. Supposing they say, oh my God, but now we are going for MNCs, for interview. So you should be aware what is this Dow Jones Industrial Average, what is FTSE. I have also added NSE and BSE, that's fine, but you should also be aware. Nasdaq. Okay. Then what is the base rate of RBI or Fed Reserve? What is the CRR? What is SLR? Particularly if you are going for a bank. Okay. I'm not going to read all those questions because I am not covering bank today. We will straight away go to basic corporates. Okay. How would you hedge against USD? Now rupee is, let's say, depreciating. Rupee is losing its value. USD is getting stronger. So what are the ways to hedge? What do you mean by hedging? What are these risk management, risk mitigation tools? There is derivatives for you. Can somebody tell me whether somebody has started derivatives? Or at least reply to that. Divya, tell me whether derivatives have been taught to you, options, futures, swaps. Hello? Is there any network problem? Why I am not able to get any response from your side? I don't know. Anyway, I'll go ahead. What is happening to oil market? What is market capitalization? Okay, at least somebody tell me what is capitalization? Market capitalization. You have done SAPM. You have passed SAPM. Some of you are first class students. Yeah, please tell me what is capitalization? Market capitalization. Okay, don't worry. immediately see that's exactly what happens in the interview. You know about that, but how to frame that sentence, how to structure that sentence so that it makes sense. Your statement should not be senseless. I'm sorry to use that word. You know what, in market capitalization, very well, you have done it, you worked out also. But then, all of a sudden, supposing they ask, that is the reason you have to revisit all this concept and put your own words, paraphrase in your own words and write down some keywords. Then here and there, one or two grammatical mistakes, you don't mind. I don't think they will really take it so seriously as long as your communication is clear. Certainly, they prefer MNCs. Your language must be flawless. Okay, and there should be easy flow of language when you talk. That need not be an official language. It can be a conversational language. जैसे हम बात करते हैं ना, just have a dialogue, conversational language. Okay. So, what is valuation? How many types of valuations are there? How do you analyze stock value? What is intrinsic value? Particularly if you are going for investment brokerage house, investment banker, or mutual funds, they will ask all this thing because you have to explain that to your customer. Your concept should be clear. They can't teach you. Your boss will certainly help you, but they can't teach you all fundamentals. So now revisit. Now another maybe 4 or 5 months time is there for you. Revisit all these subjects. I have written a couple of books, particularly on banking, in simple language. So I can give you those. It is not, some are published, some are not published. So I have written not many books unpublished, which I have shared with my students. I can share that, where I have written in very simple language. For example, a 500-page banking book, I have reduced it to 100 pages. Okay, all important parts. I can share that with you. Now, answers are given in a way. We are not going to read that. Now, here I am not covering a personal-based question. How you have to, all about your behavior, gesticulation, body language, and how you are going to talk about your CV, how you are going to talk about SWOT analysis. I am not going to cover all those things. Today's topic is purely technical questions. Okay. So another 1 hour, I will go straight away to basics. Yeah, we'll start here. Corporate valuation and finance merger specific question. Corporate finance. See, define beta. Now look at the question. If they ask you what is beta, then you may say, sir, you will start with, that's what I have seen, Now I talk like a student. Sir, supposing Infosys, yesterday it went up by 1% and the market as a whole went up by 2%. There are 2:1, that is the ratio. Like that, you will give example. But look at that, define beta. Always remember what exactly they want. If they say, give an example for beta. If they say, what is the difference between beta and standard deviation? So, carefully listen to the question. Otherwise, they will think he has not even understood the question. Doesn't matter if you ask, sir, please repeat, but don't ask too many times. 1 or 2 questions, okay. And again, every time don't ask, sir, give me 10 seconds, so that you will structure the answer and you know. Okay, once a way, if the question is very complicated, then you may ask, give me 10 seconds. So now define beta. I know you worked out beta, you know the formula also, but if I ask you what exactly the beta is, look at that simple, just one sentence. Beta is that tells how much the price of a given security. Just now I told you Infosys, given security moves relative to movements in the overall market. So supposing you mention this, they will be very happy. That gives full meaning. Then give the example. Infosys or HUL, Reddy, Glaxo, whatever. So here, one, the price, it is the price of given security with particular reference to the movement of the stock exchange as a whole, market as a whole. So if you one or two times if you tell yourself in your own language, doesn't matter, then it will be easy for you to translate that into English and tell accordingly. Okay. CAPM. What are the assumptions of CAPM? There are so many assumptions of CAPM which are not valid, but still why we use CFM formula. What is the CFM formula? Can somebody tell me quickly? See, now I'm just putting you some pressure on you, some stress on you. How to put it immediately without committing any blunder? Can somebody tell me what is CAPM formula? Yes? Now you see, I don't know your answer. Yeah, okay, please go ahead. You are ready, okay? Just tell me the formula. You have done it many times. Huh. Yes?
Expected return.
Okay, now one thing is clear, CAPM formula is used to arrive at expected return. Very good. Next. What are things that you take into account there? What is RF?
Beta.
Yeah. RF, RM, beta. These three things you have to remember. Then how you put that, where plus has to come, where within the bracket you have to write. You focus on this formula. उस दिन मैं आपको बताता ना, जनरली आई टेल स्टूडेंट्स उसका फ़ोटो ले लो. कहाँ से फ़ोटो लेना? Not from mobile, my dear. Not screenshot, my dear. From your third eye, your mental eye. Close your external eye. Focus on that for a minute. And then store it in your hard drive here. So that whenever you close your eyes, you can retrieve it. That picture comes, the entire formula. I'm not joking. These are some. You ask me any formula, any section, any time, I can repeat. The reason is, it is not I am expert. I am as, I'm sorry to use this word, as good or as bad as you are. The techniques are there. Okay, I'm very happy anyway. Somebody said, now, CAPM is not used only for finding out expected return. We use it for many other purposes. What CAPM stands for? Can you elaborate that abbreviation? Capital asset pricing. Capital asset pricing. You want to see whether this is properly priced, undervalued or overvalued. So you can also use this to find out whether this is properly priced. Of course, the price depends on your expected return. Then on the other day I was talking about how to find out, risk-free rate, what is risk premium, why you call it risk premium. Okay, now I have given some answers here, but don't even read my answers also. It's better you prepare your own answer, then check up with, okay, if you want to check up your answer with this, fine, but you have to prepare your own. And then when you prepare your own, you think for a moment, and so that you are focused, and then you'll be able to remember that. Okay? Look at this, what I have not only put it in color, I have underlined in also. It provides the required rate of return given the riskiness of the asset. Look at one sentence beautifully. CAPM provides the required rate of return given the riskiness of the asset. So what is the risk involved in that? What is beta? Now the definition of beta should be clear. What is beta? Whether it is volatile, is it perfectly positively correlated, perfectly negatively correlated, perfectly correlated. Supposing the market goes 1% and this price also comes up by 1%, perfectly positively correlated. Supposing market goes up 1%, this comes down by 1%, negatively correlated as far the volatility, the fluctuations in the market. Okay, so now you have to find out what is the keyword, then what is WAC. How do you calculate? You have done this. You have done a big formula and you have got 6 out of 10. I know about that. I am an examiner for many universities. I know you do so well. पूरा एक पे वर्कआउट किया, डेट का अलग किया, प्रिफरेंस शेयर का अलग किया, इक्विटी का अलग किया, then that weightages लिया, proportionate multiply किया. But then how can you put this in 2 sentences? The challenge here is, the problem here is, how can you put it in, because they don't have time, in the interview. So today's class is 100% interview focused. I'm not here to teach you how to work out, what are the steps involved. No. We are discussing how to put these concepts and communicate effectively within as short words or short sentences as possible. Weight is the weighted average cost of capital. To calculate it, you need to multiply the cost of each capital component, common stock, preferred stock, bonds, another long-term debt, by its proportional weight, and take sum of the result. You don't have time to say so much. So how can you put it in 1 or max 2 sentences? You have to practice. Sometimes advanced question, you see, if 2 companies are trading at the same trailing PE multiple, what is PE multiple? Price to earning. What is the price of the stock and what is the earning per stock? Are they also trading at the same trailing EV and EBITDA? Then they ask what is, can you explain operational profit? What is the formula for that? It is nothing but EBITDA. My dear, all these things were asked in the question, in the interview. I'm not just taken from any other source. So please remember to get deeper insights of these concepts. Read that, revisit that, put it in your own words. How to remember EBITDA? Why it is called EBITDA? After EBITDA, what comes? Okay. Look at this question. Walk me through a DCF. मतलब क्या है? This is a question, actual question asked in an interview. They did not ask, define DCF. What do you understand by DCF? They asked, walk me through a DCF. उसका मतलब क्या है? The other person, imagine he doesn't know anything about DCF. Walk me through. By the time you complete that, maybe you may take 3 sentences, 4 sentences, that fellow should be capable of understanding and reproducing what all you talked about DCF. What is DCF? Anybody? Don't get scary. Yeah, discounted cash flow. What is that discounted? With what rate you discount? What is that hurdle rate? What is that capital borrowing rate? What is capital cost? And why it has to be divided? If it is future value, you multiply. If you have to find out present value, you divide. Why we use 1 plus R? See, these are the questions which you have to ask yourself. I am not here to, but then when I teach, I go into details. I dissect formulas. I make it, so each formula I make it, maybe 3 or 4 parts, then one by one we learn. Why we use 1 plus R? In finance, for any calculation, we find out the value for 1 rupee first, whether NPV, PV or FP, whatever. Then for odd amount, it's 7,435 into what is that factor you got? Multiplication. Easily आता है. And again remember, all these things are not going to work out at any point of time in your corporate world. I am telling you very frankly. क्योंकि सबका उधर program है. Or even in your Excel sheet, if you go for select formula PV, key in the figures, answer comes. या formula जाने का क्या जरूरत है? But what they want is, have you understood its implication, its interpretation? Now I will come back to that later on. there was a question on what is cash flow. Yeah, the student said cash flow, started telling cash flow from investment activities, finance activities, operational activities. They don't know all those things. What do you see in cash flow? Why cash flow statement important compared to balance sheet or income statement? Why bankers prefer? I'm not telling they don't, because balance sheet, the other day I was telling, it can be manipulated, window dressing, any poor balance sheet can be made look very, very rosy. Yes, sir, bhai. Compared to that, cash flow is for analyst, credit analyst. Look at this word. For credit analyst, cash flow is very, very important and reliable document to do credit analysis. Now, from where the cash flow has come, from where it has been utilized, is it from your non-business activities or one-time cash flow? So these are the aspects which you have to understand. I know if I give you one problem right now, all of you will work out, I know, for sources, and you will use the formula. But beyond that, why it is important, what it conveys for any investor or for particularly banker, credit analyst. So go through this explanations. Don't stop at formula. Another question asks, what is enterprise value? What is enterprise value? Anybody? Okay. Now you have forgotten, no? Because you are in third semester, you would have studied in first semester. Don't worry. I know about that. But then go back. This type of question may come. Okay. Now, even though I said everything is programmed, at least you should be capable of, employing the correct formula within that program. All the formulas are there, for example, Excel sheet. Which formula you have to employ for enterprise value, intrinsic value, EBITDA. So at least you should be aware, In Excel sheet, you don't get interpretation, unfortunately. Look here. It's really difficult. Walk me through DCF backwards. You have told me DCF, from the beginning, then backwards. Now you remember that income approach for MM theory, NOI, net operative income approach, reversal, how to work from the reversal backwards, forwards. They may ask anything depending upon your what type of company, particularly if it is the profile is for analysts, they ask this type of question. So don't get scary having listened to me, but this is a caution to you, this warning to you. Yes, I have read finance, then I have to go through again, I have to pick up all the important words and remember. Okay. I can provide all. What is working capital? Look, only just two sentences. Working capital is the amount of liquid assets a company has on hand. It amounts to current assets and cash minus current liabilities. It's capital required for day-to-day working. What is that cash? Current assets minus current liabilities, whatever is left, that is net, which you use for day-to-day, maybe purchase of raw material, for processing, overheads. You need that money. So first you have to be very clear about the concept. Once the concept is clear, then come back CA minus CL is equal to WC, working capital. Then you remember the formula. But don't by the formula, rote learning nahi karna. Instead, try to understand why it is called, why CA, why CL. And again, on the working capital, I want to tell you a couple of things. Another day I was talking to some other university students. They knew only Tandon committee, Chore committee. There are 5 methods of working capital. The latest which you are following is Nayak committee, where the calculations are very simple. Up to 5 crores we take annual turnover and give 25% of that. Out of 25%, again we ask the owner to bring 20% of that 25%. This is simplest for very big project. Then we follow the Reserve Bank of India format is there that runs to some 20 to 30 pages. Analysis, working capital analysis. What is DDM, dividend discount model? Look at this very tricky question. It is about cost of capital. See, all these things are taken from your book only, academic books. Capital budgeting, cost of capital, dividend theory. Okay, everything is from your book only, because they can't ask you practical questions, because you are not worked anywhere. So what they do, they ask from your whatever you have studied, basic concepts only. That is why if you are clear about basic concept, nothing to worry. So now what is the question asked? Which is more costlier? Equity is costlier or debt is costlier, and why? This is the question. I know you have never thought of this, because such questions are not asked in your exam also. Exam equity is costlier. Who said that? Okay, who said that? Mansi, very good Mansi, I appreciate. Equity is more costly, because general understanding kya hota hai? I appreciate Mansi. I congratulate you, I compliment you for your best answer, correct answer. Now perhaps we may absolutely.
Expectations are also high, which even make it more costly.
Absolutely, yeah, you are absolutely. See, look at the explanation. So now you have said costlier, but then I want one or two justification for that. You have to defend the statement which you have made. Now Mansi is rightly telling. Now debt actually also gives some tax shield. The interest paid, you can claim exemption. Tax shield is also there. And equity, the expectation is high. Okay, if you don't give better dividend, let's say last year 30%, this year you give 20, then they will sell your stock, and your overall market capitalization will come down, because stock price will come down. When people start selling, then the natural price comes down. When there is more supply, then the price comes down. Economics principle. It affects your market capitalization. You will not be able to raise further capital. So debt is cheaper, equity is costlier. Okay, good Mansi, I appreciate it. I may not be able to cover all the 100, but just to give you an idea. Okay, but almost every chapter, capital, cost of capital, capital budgeting, almost every chapter, the ratio analysis, everything has been taken here, and from various sources, not taken from book or Google. Okay, from Google few I have taken, but some of these have also been given by. The same question is repeatedly asked in a different way. Why should a company prefer equity finance to debt finance? Now, equity financing is less risky. You won't have to pay it back. You will have more cash on hand. You won't have to channel profits into loan repayment. Your equity investors will have a longer term view. Your company will have more credibility, and you might get to tap your investors' network to help you develop the business. Look, within 5 sentences, there are 5-6 points. Instead of going for loan, I have to give interest. I know it is maybe cheaper, but then I want to go for equity. Okay, so why should company prefer? Why I should prefer some of the advantage? Both you should be aware. Both its merits and demerits you should be aware. Now this is all about mergers, acquisitions. Then all of you know about net operating profit. Here is a question: net operating loss. Now, what is net operating loss? You may say, sir, when there is a loss, it is net operating loss only. But then, this is when a company allowable tax deductions are greater than its income. An NOL can be carried backwards or forwards for accounting purposes. Losses incurred can be, according to Income Tax Act, it can be. So, now added another extra sentence, according to Income Tax Act. That that demonstrates your in-depth knowledge about the topic. And not only defining what is NOL, I am also telling one significant feature of NOL. That means the losses incurred can be offset for the next years according to Income Tax Act. It may be your capital gain tax, it may be your equity loss, whatever. So that shows your extra knowledge. The intro panel will feel impressed. These questions, actually that student had done. I've taken from a student. He has done certificate course in mergers acquisitions. So this question that is why it may not be relevant to you. But he was asked, talk to me about a recent merger you have followed. What was the price paid for the target? Why did the acquiring company decide to buy at that price? If you are part of the deal team, what would you have done differently? This because he was a specialist in. He has done a course. I don't know how many of you have subscribed to some such courses like NSIM, NSFM, NSC, even Coursera for that matter. Okay. Look at this. Give me the net present value of $1 with a 10% discount rate over 10 years. Can somebody quickly tell me the formula for this? One line question. And you have worked out a very big question, big formulas, case studies. Now this one line question. Supposing you have calculator on your hand, you have to carry calculator. Always remember. So they may say, sir, I have not brought the calculator. Calculator allowed. Nobody asks you not to bring the calculator. This simple one. Can somebody tell me what is the formula? Look at the question, very simple. Give me the net present value, NPV, of $1, 10% discount rate for 10 years. So what is the formula? So now I know you may not be able to. Yeah. Yes. Very, very good. Very good. Excellent. Who said this answer? Who gave this answer? Mansi? Mansi, आप तो बहुत फार्म में है आज answering all the questions. Very good. 1 divided by 1 plus 0.10. Don't say 10. No, 0.10. Because it is 0.10 raised to the power of 10. And immediately you can calculate. Okay. Now look at the question, because this question was asked, how do you value our bank, HDFC Bank? So valuation of companies different, and how do you value the bank? Some changes are there. Find out this. Okay. Now for example, I always mention this. In the morning also I was mentioning, you must refer some reliable books. So when it comes to valuation, there is one authority on valuation. Remember his name, Damodaran. And he has. You can visit his website also. Okay. He has come out with almost 10 types of valuation formulas. Now it is not necessary you should remember all the 10 times. At least 3. Whatever you have read in Ayam Pandey or Rastagi or Prasanna Chandra, Kannan Jain, At least two valuation models. Can somebody tell me? Don't, I know you need not tell me. Imagine a very good net income. Then very good. It may be market capitalization method, it may be book value method, it may be cash flow discounted method, it is enterprise value. You take terminal value and plus cash flows for the next, let us say 10 years. That is horizon value, HORIZON, horizon. Let's say the project is for 10 years. There is always terminal value, scrap value. Let's say 10%, 1 plus 10 raised to 6 years. Similarly, cash flow, first year 1 plus R raised to 1, 1 plus R raised to 2, 1 plus R raised to 3. So you cash flow plus terminal value, so enterprise value. Now how I am telling all this thing? You may say, sir, आप तो गधा के जैसा 20 साल से पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं इसलिए आपको याद आई. But then now you have to do that. हमको तो कुछ भी आता है. Most of the times you are right. Most of the times. I don't say 100%. So now, look, I think again Mansi only replied. Net operative income approach, enterprise value approach, cash flow approach. There are so many methodologies to value. Similarly, equity. What is intrinsic value? What is par value? What is discounted value if it is bond? So spend some time to understand the concept now. अब तक क्या किया? You have done it. It's okay. Student का सब जगह में ऐसा होता है. Don't worry. But now we have to. Okay, some of you may be telling, sir, मैं तो काम कभी नहीं करने वाला. मेरा खुद का business करने वाला. Fine. Appreciate. Even if you want to be a startup, you want to be an entrepreneur, you must understand this basic concepts of finance to manage your firm effectively. Otherwise, your chartered accountant will cheat you. I'm sorry, I'm not blaming chartered accountants. Anybody will cheat you. Okay. What is turnover? What? Sorry, can you please repeat? Absolutely, it is a gross sales, sales, and it's also known as revenue. You know, sometimes they call it revenue also. So remember, just now I was mentioning, working capital calculated based on Nayak committee. We take the annual projected turnover. Annual projected turnover. That means total sales. Based on your total sales, I give you working capital limits. That's fine, Mansi. Which accounting standard do we follow? This is another question asked. How many of you know what accounting system standard we follow and what we are expected to follow? Accounting standard 3 you said. What did you say? Okay. Find out. Instead of Chartered Accountants of India standard we are following, and we are expected to follow IFRS. Have you heard about IFRS? In fact, last 3 years our country we have been trying to switch over to IFRS. Most of the, if there are 200 plus countries, more than 150 countries have already switched over to IFRS, because so that there will be uniformity in understanding and interpreting the data and whatever issues, financial related issues. Sooner or later we are going to switch over to IFRS, maybe in the next 1 or 2 years. So you should at least then that shows your knowledge. Don't feel bad if you don't know. In the morning, right from morning I have repeated many times, don't feel bad, don't feel depressed, because that is a system you have followed. But now I am telling you, you just try to pick up all this. That's exactly what I was mentioning in the morning when you say trends, including accounting standards. Now, for example, Bankruptcy Act has been passed. Now, a bad bank is coming. Act has been passed to recover non-performing asset. So you should keep yourself abreast of what is happening in and around. Read Financial Times, Economic Times, or Yahoo Finance, or RBI website. And RBI website report, quarterly report. It mentions all the latest developments. So now stop reading textbook. अभी तो exams हो गए आपका. Now just some deviation should be there from your routine which you have been following for the last 1.5 years. Good. Why profit is shown on liability side of the balance sheet? अरे ये मेरा प्रॉफिट है, क्यों आपको लायबिलिटी कहते हैं? Company is a legal person. There is no life, there is no person, but company is a legal person. Whatever it takes, it has to repay. It is liable to repay. Even equity is a liability because one day or other you have to repay. You are not going to encash equity and give it to the investor. You will sell somewhere. But supposing you are going into liquidation, whatever is there you are liable to repay. So profit is not yours. You have to repay. That's why it is liability. This is the type of answer you have to give. Very tricky questions. These things will be able to look at this. Sometimes tricky. Does depreciation reduce profit? Absolutely no. Very good. Who said it? क्या नाम है? Yeah, absolutely, it's not a loss. There is no outflow of cash. It's only book entry. एक debit करता है asset and then you keep it in provision in the depreciation. So it doesn't leave the company. It doesn't go out. It is not an expenditure. So you have 2-3 points. Very good. You told me. I'm happy about it. I could not get your name. Okay. Now I want to remember the names, whoever answered. Okay. Where does goodwill appear in balance sheet? Look how tricky the question is. Then, what are the various methods of capital budgeting? So now, because we don't have time, I'm only reading the questions. Now at least you know what you should know, what you should understand. Okay. Now, further questions are also there. Now we will answer. Let us say, sir, what are the various methods of capital budgeting? I hope all of you know. How many are there? Can somebody list what are the various methods of capital budgeting? Okay, I will give you a clue. NPV, IRR, MIRR, PB, PI. At least have you done all these things? Mansi, Divya? You have done all these things, okay. Yeah, IRR, MIRR, PV, NPV, PB, payback, all these things you have done. But let's say now they ask further, it is their question. Why IRR is better compared to PB? Or why NPV is better than compared to PB? Next, immediate, that was the question. So now what you have done, the formula you worked out. Go beyond that. What are the limitations of payback period? What are the advantages of NPV? For example, payback period does not take the present value of the money, whereas NPV takes present value of future cash flows discounted. Here NPV is in absolute figure in terms of money. NPV, so okay, 10,500 is my NPV, whereas IRR gives percentage of return. Why it is good? Then I can compare whether my expected return is more than this, less than this. or whether cost of capital is more than IRR or less than IRR. If my cost of capital is 14 and IRR is 8, that means my company will go into liquidation. So my IRR should be more than my cost of capital. My IRR should be more than the expected return of my shareholders. Have you ever thought these things? No. Because क्या होता है एग्जाम में they just given problem you worked out. So now is the time if I have everything with me, but I can't go on distributing because I have maybe running into lakhs of files with me. Only if somebody really sincere student, if he really wants to learn, tomorrow if you ask me, sir, मुझे ये book में समझ नहीं आया मुझे, then I will use chart, NPV, IRR, PI, PB, merits, demerits, I can share because I have prepared this. अभी क्या last 20 years में वही काम कर रहा है ना. I have prepared a lot material I can give, but I can't go on dispersing all the material to you. Okay. Just mentioning about horizontal value, horizon value. This is horizontal and vertical merger. This was a question about horizontal and vertical merger. Certainly some I don't know, would not have studied in this first semester. Mostly this is covered third or fourth semester, mergers and acquisitions. Have you done that, mergers and acquisitions? Can somebody tell me? Okay, we will leave that for the time being. Next question was financial modeling. What is financial modeling? I hope somebody will teach you financial modeling. Try to develop one or two models on your own, and when you go for interview you can tell them, sir, I have developed this financial. It's easy, really easy. Yesterday I was telling to one of my in one of my classes, I can name them also, nothing wrong. There is one institution called Symbiosis International University, and another one is Sri Balaji University. From okay. How long it was there? Were you? What was my last question? Did you hear me? Anyway, I don't know. It automatically somebody has muted me. Played prank. Financial. Rao sir, बहुत हो गया अभी. You just mute yourself. Okay. Anyway, another 10 minutes. Okay. Another 10 minutes. I close this. I was talking about financial modeling. Some of my students have taken models. I was mentioning the JP Morgan model for the Credit Plus, Credit Metrics. Lot of models for their financial modeling. Now most of the investment bankers, companies, they use the ready-made financial modeling. Programming is different. The overall programming for the company as a whole will be there. Apart from that, they may select some reliable models also. I have come across some of my students who have developed their own models which work. For example, you will be taught derivatives maybe during this semester. There is a BSM model, Block-Scholes model, and they have made BSM बहुत like garden assumptions, garden model, etc. They are no longer valid. They have made some changes which is relevant to the present circumstances. So you can try to develop your own financial model and tell in the interview, sir, मैंने ये छोटा सा मॉडल है मैंने बनाया, खुद बनाया. They will be happy. They will not examine, they will not, but at least that shows you have some analytical skill, then a skill to develop financial modeling. Okay. Only last 10 minutes. If you want to ask me questions, I am ready. Or still see NPV I have covered. How many finance statements are there? Name them. Everybody tells. Most of them tell balance sheet, income, cash flow. Okay, but there is one more addition, statements of shareholders' equity. That's also, look here, for WAC they have used one more word, composite cost of capital. Composite cost of capital, because it takes into account debt as well as equity. Are you able to see the screen there? I have written formula also. Okay. Then what is capital structure? What is goodwill? Ratio analysis. You know you have worked out, but if I ask you immediately what is ratio analysis, you think, oh my God, कितना बार ratio analysis? What is that? उसका definition क्या है? What exactly conveys? Why it is done? To get deeper insights into company's overall analysis by using statements. Look at this word. The financial analyst who does ratio analysis, he gets deeper insights into a company's overall performance, financial performance. That is why ratio analysis, and they will get impressed. Then some people say ratio analysis, for example, you take current assets and you take current liability, you take current asset divide by current liability, that give current ratio. No, they have not asked you that. They ask you, what do you mean by ratio analysis? Look at the question. Okay. Now be specific as far as now can you name 5 most important ratios? Then you should not go into individual ratio like PE, current account. No. See, there are 5 heads. You have to remember. What is that? Liquidity, solvency, efficiency, and for investment purposes, PE and dividend ratio. At least these 4 you have to remember. So, they also say turnover ratios. For example, stock turnover, debtors turnover, creditors turnover. That also you can add here. Okay. So you remember these heads first. Then if they ask me, come on, tell me if you want to invest in a company, what are the ratios that you look into? Then you must talk about investment related one, earning per share, dividend payout, dividend retention, price earning ratio. So you should be very, very specific. You know everything. I am not telling you don't know. In fact, you know better than I. But how to put it that so that and within shortest time possible in the interview. Okay. Now answers I am not going through answers. I simply want to tell you some about the. Look here. What will you use to gauge the company's liquidity? Is it cash flow or is it income? Sometimes it is what is variance analysis. I'm only 10 minutes left. What is EBITDA? I've already covered this. I think Mansi replied, what are the advantages of raising debt over equity? Now, you are given the answer, but some points. Mansi, can you read this if you are there? Because you answered that. Can you please read this? What are the advantages? Try to remember. You have given the perfect answer. I appreciate.
Yes.
But
Yes.
can you remember 1 or 2 points about that, please?
You should ideally have how synchronous debt and equity are. In mention, raising debt does not affect the stake of the current owner's ownership. Debt helps in offering tax benefits to the business. Business with sticky revenue can enjoy higher profits even with minor debt. Debt is cheaper than equity.
Okay, now I think you already made 2 points when I asked you. Other 2 points if you mention, that makes complete answer. Okay, 5 minutes left. Why are dividends not part of income statement? Negative working capital. So instead of asking, then I told mention difference between NPV and IRR, PP and IRR. Which one is better? Why it is better? What is benchmarking? Why do you need to calculate depreciation? It is you already answered that. It is a positive cash flow factor. Cash does not leave the company. What is the ideal debt equity ratio? Whatever you have read in Prasanna Chandra, or if you say 1:2, no, it may be sector specific. So for example, if it is a capital intensive industry, please remember my word. You can mention this in the interview in case they ask this. Capital intensive, where the capital needed is very, it involves huge amount, like aviation industry. एक plane के लिए 500 crores लगता है. Shipping industry, oil excavation. There you can't ask them only 1:2. I have managed many. I'm sorry, I don't want to mention that. Managed many MNCs. They're international finances. But we have seen in one case the debt equity is 1:14. But at the same time, it should not go like Lehman Brothers 1:50. They borrowed. Their equity was 1 million. They borrowed 15 million. So that's why it went down. About if you heard about Lehman Brothers. So what is the ideal debt equity ratio? Similarly, liquidity ratio, acid test ratio. These are some of the ratios you should remember. Now, how do you? There was a question on how do you link income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. Now I have given the chart here. It's a very beautiful chart. You can see. I will share this with you later on. Okay, don't worry. Enterprise value I have already mentioned. Market value of equity plus debt plus preferred stock plus minority interest minus cash, and how it is calculated also. Terminal value, cash flow. See here I have given. I think she was mentioning this also. What are the ways you can value a company? Compare other companies also. Market capitalization, market valuation, DCF, leverage buyout model, liquidation valuation. There are 10, more than 10 cap beta. Look at this. Beta is a measure of the volatility of an investment compared with the market as a whole. The market has a beta of 1, while investment that are more volatile than the market have a beta greater than 1. Those that are less volatile have a beta less than 1. They are less volatile. So one or two additions to your beta I have already explained. One or two additions. This is about mergers, acquisitions. Here I was talking about some of the books which I have used for foreign universities. Corporate Finance, Rose, Investment Analyst, Rayleigh. I am not a commission agent. I am not marketing these books, but these are the books which I have used and which globally, well recognized. Investment Analysis by Strong and by Smart. International Finance by Mudra. Derivatives, Janaki Sundaram is an Indian but is in Singapore. Risk Management by Saunders. Fixed Income Securities by Pavozzi. Financial Markets by Mishkin. Management Accounting by Arnett. Well, friends, it's exactly 2 hours. Any questions? So how do you find this? Have I disturbed you? Are you under stress? Scary? But then, if you really want to make a better career, if you want to get yourself placed in MNCs where your package will be in the millions. Okay. Yes. Thanks. I don't know how many of you are here now. I can see so many names. Aishman, Ankit, Manisha, Narendra, Manasi is there. Kumar, Neha, Rajni, Divya. I want to see so many. Still, how many are there? Yeah. Yes.
Nervousness for interviews. Sometimes we find it hard to answer them correctly, and this creates major blunders during our interviews.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll work on these. We'll clear our basics more. We'll practice more. And thank you so much, sir, for this engaging session.
Okay. Thanks so much, Mansi. Thanks, Divya. Thank you so much, and we'll meet again. All the best for your endeavor for better placement. Okay, God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. See, this is recorded, and send me the recorded video. I will add some more relevant PPT, etc. I will send it back to you. Okay? Okay, Divya. Okay, Divya. Okay, Mansi. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Bye,
you.
sir.
Okay, bye. Thank you.